Hi students, we were discussing about the physical features of North America. We discussed about Western Cordillera in detail in the last class. Again, we have to discuss about three more important physical features of North America, which are the Appalachian Mountain or Eastern Cordillera, or we can call it as Eastern Highlands. Then we discuss about Prairies and Canadian Shield. There are mainly four physical features of North America: Western Cordillera, Appalachian Mountains, Prairies and Canadian Shield. So today we will discuss in detail in this video about Appalachian Mountains, Prairies and Canadian Shield. Hello students, let's see four important physical features first of all. Yes, this is the part like Western Cordillera is lying here. Then Appalachian Mountain is there. So this Appalachian Mountain is named as Eastern Cordillera. Okay, this is Eastern Cordillera. We can also call it as Eastern Highlands. Then comes Canadian Shield. This part is known as a Canadian Shield. Now, the physical feature which is lying between this is the prairie. Okay, this is called a plain. This is a lowland. Okay, comparatively very low region compared to any other region. This is lowland. So this region is named as what? Great Plain. This is named as Great Plains. Okay, this Great Plains are also named as what? These are also named as prairies. Another name of this Great Plain is that prairies. Children, only wheat is growing in this region. Only the wheat, the small wheat grass, only grasses are growing. Only grasses are growing. That is why this region is named as grassland. Okay. So, the middle portion of North America is that what? Prairies. These are known as prairies, and these are prairies means only the region in which only the grass is growing. So this is called grassland. In the middle there lies grassland. So the name of this grasslands are prairies. The name of this grassland is prairies. Okay. So the wheat is growing in large scale in prairie. So the prairies are known as the wheat basket of the world. Prairies of North America are known as wheat basket of the world. Why this region is called wheat basket of the world? Because wheat is producing in large scale in this region. So it is called wheat basket of the world. So now let us focus on Appalachian Mountain or Eastern Cordillera. Yes, now we have to study in detail about Appalachian Mountain. Where is the Appalachian Mountain? This is the Appalachian Mountain. So, Appalachian Mountain is also known as Old Fold Mountain. It is also known as Old Fold Mountain. Why it is called Old Fold Mountain? Old Fold Mountain, the height is comparatively less. Okay, then what is Young Fold Mountain? These Western Cordilleras are of Young Fold Mountain because they are of great height. Their height is more, and they also have got a very sharp peak. Their peaks are very sharp, like this, very sharp. So these peaks have got a snow-capped mountains. They have got a snow-capped mountains. Why? Because of the great height. As much the height goes increasing, temperature decreases. There feels very cold. So there forms ice. So snow formation is there at the top of the peak of this. What is the Young Fold Mountain? Young Fold Mountains. All the mountains which are found in the Western Cordilleras are the Young Fold Mountain. Now, Old Fold Mountain, their peak is not very sharp. They have got a round top. Why? Because they also had the height at the beginning, but they were continuously exposing to the wind, water and all. So their height got decreased because the rock and all these particles are started breaking from the top of the mountain, slowly their height decreased. Now many years got over, so that they have been exposing from the exposing in the weather, so now their height is decreased. So there they got now only the round top of peaks are of round top, and their height is comparatively less. That is why these Appalachian mountains are called old fold mountain. Okay. Now again, when we discuss about Appalachian Mountain, other fact is that number of rivers are draining through this Appalachian Mountain. Yes, this Appalachian Mountain is stretching from the St. Lawrence River. You cannot find here. We will find St. Lawrence River from here. St. Lawrence River you can see here in your textbook, the map which is given. In that St. Lawrence River is there. Yes, St. Lawrence River, it is stretching from, you can see here St. Lawrence River. Okay, so Appalachian Mountain is stretching. Here is the Appalachian Mountain. So it is stretching from St. Lawrence Mountain up to here, what is the Gulf of Mexico here. Up to this Gulf of Mexico, it is stretching, Appalachian Mountain. Then number of rivers are flowing through Appalachian mountains. Then the rivers which are flowing through this Appalachian Mountain, it is forming waterfalls, because these rivers are cutting through the seas. It is like a river I'll show you in blue color. Rivers, no, they are cutting through the plateaus. Okay, they are cutting through the plateaus and draining into which ocean? Atlantic Ocean. This is the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so these rivers, since they are falling from the plateaus, they are forming the waterfalls. They are forming waterfalls, and since waterfalls means, it's very good for the hydropower electricity. So they are producing hydroelectricity from the waterfalls of these rivers which are draining from Appalachian Mountain. So Appalachian Mountain, you see, number of rivers are flowing through. These rivers are forming waterfalls since they are falling from number of plateaus. Plateaus, highlands, okay, tableland. So when the water fall from the highland to the lowland, they forms the waterfalls. So very good for the hydroelectricity production. Then, yes, these are all the important points. Let's see which are the points left over from the lesson. Let us focus on the lesson here. Yes, Eastern Cordillera or Appalachian Mountains. Let us go through the important points given in the lesson. Yes, see, Appalachian Highlands or the Eastern Cordilleras are situated along the eastern side of North America. Yes, you understood the location. It is in the eastern side. Then, Appalachians are the old and rugged mountain. That is why we discussed that is old fold mountain, which were very high. Once they were very high, which were once high, but right now they do not have the height because they exposed for long time, so their height decreased. Then the Appalachians, yes, are a long chain mountain. So 2,575 kilometer long chain mountain. You don't have to learn this height or these numbers and all. You don't have to study. Okay. Then hence these acted, This acted as a barrier between Atlantic coast and interior of the American in the past. These stretches from the valley of St. Lawrence River down through most of the eastern part of United States. So hence these are acted as a barrier between Atlantic coast. Barrier between the Atlantic coast and what is that? Barrier between Atlantic coast and interior of North America. Let's see how it is acting as a barrier. You see the location of Appalachian Mountain here. Yes, Appalachian Mountain is lying here. Yes, so that it is lying here. So once it was a barrier, it acted as a wall between Atlantic Ocean. This is the Atlantic Ocean and interior of the earth. This is the interior. This is this part. Inside the this is the interior part. Interior of your room means what? Inside your room. Similar way, inside the North America. Okay. So Appalachian Mountain acted as a barrier between the Atlantic Ocean and interior of the North America. Then the next point what we have to discuss is about Appalachian Mountain is that, yes, these all we discuss in what is given in the next paragraph. What is that? There are number of short rivers and rise in the Appalachian Mountains and flow into the Atlantic Ocean. These swift flowing rivers, fast flowing rivers, swift flowing means fast flowing rivers give rise to waterfall, as we discussed, and rapids as they flow over the edges of the plateau, as they flowing from the waterfalls and rapids. What rapids means? Group of waterfalls. Okay, rapid means water is falling from the great height, so they forms the rapids. Then many of these rivers provide suitable site for the development of hydroelectricity. So hydroelectricity production means water. Electricity is produced out of the water which is falling from the great height. You know, in our location, Maithan Dam is there. There the hydroelectricity is produced. Similar way, here also electricity is produced. How? When the water is falling from the great height, in the waterfalls, turbines. Turbines means the wheels, huge wheels are allowed to move. So the out of that energy which is produced is stored in the dynamos, and then from dynamos electricity is supplied. So like this, hydroelectricity is produced from the rivers which are flowing through the Appalachian Mountains. It's clear? So these are all about the Appalachian Mountain. Then next we have to discuss about the Great Plains or Central Lowlands or Prairies we have to discuss. Now Prairies, when we discuss, you can see here the important point is that Prairies, these are known as Central Plains or Central Lowlands. I showed you in the map very clearly the location. Then these Central Plains and Prairies are lying in between the Appalachian Mountains in the east and the Rocky Mountains in the west. I showed you the location, how it is lying in the middle. Prairie is lying in the middle of the Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountain. You see, here is the Rocky Mountain and here is the Appalachian Mountain, and the Prairie is lying in the middle of. This is the Central Plains or Central Lowlands or Prairie. Now let's see the textbook. Yes. Then what is the meaning of the term prairie? Prairie, the meaning of the term prairie is that grasslands. Why? Only grasses are growing in this region. So prairie is a French word which means meadow or grassland. The North America, yes. So why only the grasses are growing here? That also let's see. Why only grasses are growing? The reason is that because of the low rainfall in this region. Because you know, here Pacific Ocean is there. So the wind which carry moisture laden wind. That means wind which carry, the wind which is wet, we can say. Okay. So the wind which flow from the Pacific Ocean it is carrying lot of water. So that is causing rainfall in this region, Rocky Mountain region. So the maximum water is fallen here in the part of Rocky Mountain region. Now by that time, the wind when it reaches to this prairies, it becomes dry. This wind is dry. Okay, because it do not carry water. Because maximum water is poured down in the form of rain in the Rocky Mountain. Maximum water which carried by the wind from the Pacific Ocean is poured down in the form of rain in the Rocky Mountain. By the time when this wind reaches here, it becomes dry in the prairie region, so it cannot give much rainfall. So that is the reason why prairies do not get much rainfall, low rainfall. That is why only grasses are growing in this region. Only grasses are growing, so these are called grasslands, and these are also named as prairies. Clear? But you see, wheat is growing in a large scale in prairie. Wheat is growing in large scale, so it is called as wheat basket of the world. Prairie is known as wheat basket of the world. Yes, now let us continue the reading from the lesson now. Yes. Yes, yes, now next we have to discuss the location. It is stretching from where? The American Central Lowland stretches from the Arctic Ocean in the north and then from up to where? Gulf of Mexico. I'll show you the location here. Yes, it is stretching from where to where? Yeah, it is stretching from, here is the Arctic Ocean here. So, Prairie, it begins from there. Then it reaches up to here where? Gulf of Mexico. It is up to here. Okay. So, here the Gulf of Mexico up to Arctic Ocean. So, in the North Arctic Ocean, south it is Gulf of Mexico up to from here to here is the extension of Prairie. Prairie is lying from here to here. Okay. And the next point is that, yes, important point that we have to discuss is that the prairies are humid in the east. These are humid in the east and quite high and dry in, comparatively dry in the western region. You know that western region, western cordillera is there. So, no much rainfall and their height is also more. But Appalachian Mountain, here in the east, their height is comparatively less. So, they also allow the rain-bearing wind. See, from the Atlantic Ocean, the water can reach us to the prairie. Certain amount of water can reach us to the prairie because Appalachian Mountains are of low height. So, they allow the wind motion. So, here it is humid. In the eastern part of Prairie, it is humid. At the same time, this is the eastern part of Prairie and here it is western part. It is completely dry by because Rocky Mountains stop the wind. So, wind cannot come. At the same time, these are regions are of great height. Okay. So, that is the difference. So, the next is that we have to discuss is that it is the southern part of the Atlantic. Yes, the slope of the prairies. The slope of the prairie is that, what is that? In the north towards the Arctic Ocean, in the south towards the Atlantic Ocean. You know that in the north part Arctic Ocean is there, so prairies are sloping towards north. In the south it is sloping towards Atlantic Ocean. Then there are trees are rare. I told you why trees are rare in the prairies, because of the low rainfall. Very rare trees are there. Then prairies are what is that, for their known for their highest wheat production. Why? Because wheat is growing. Why? Because this is one of the most fertile land. So wheat is growing in this region. That is why it is known as the wheat basket of the world. Then prairies are drained by the rivers. Which are the rivers of draining? Mackenzie, Mississippi, Missouri, St. Lawrence, Saskatchewan and Nelson River. These are the important rivers draining through prairies. Important rivers which are flowing. So, Mackenzie, Mississippi, Missouri and St. Lawrence. These are the 4 important rivers which are draining through prairies. And next we have to discuss about Canadian Shield that we will be discussing in the next video. The 4th important physical feature we will discuss in next video. So, children, we discussed about what is that 4 important physical features, that is Western Cordillera. Then we discuss second one, Eastern Cordillera or Appalachian Highlands. Then the third one, Central Plains or Central Lowlands or Prairies. Then the 4th one is leftover Canadian Shield. We will be discussing in the next class, and in next video I will be discussing.